Live. It's another one of my Thursday start shit shows. I have another great guest. So yeah, you want to? I never bother with the intros. So you want to tell the people?
I'm Andrew Hall. I write for Fantasy Pros and Pro Football Network, and it's week 3, baby. Let's do this. Let's help some people out. Let's get some lineups decided. I love it.
I know. It's it feels like the season just just started, but it also feels like it's been going on forever, to be honest.
Exactly. Yes, it does.
You know how it is. It's that kind of thing. So yeah, so if you're in the chat, either Periscope or YouTube, put your question in the chat, start it, or anything really. I mean, I'll take any question. So yeah, any questions, just put them in there. I have some questions that were sent in advance in that massive start sit thread I did, which thanks for the interaction. Had quite a lot of it. Oh, okay. So we already have one in the chat. So let's go. So Tommy says, James Robinson or Brandon Cooks? And he says that he appreciates us. Thank you, Tommy.
That's nice.
That is really nice. Thank you. Is this PPR or
That's going to be my question. Yeah, if it's PPR, I'd probably lean Cooks. Man, it's a tough one tonight. I don't know.
Let's see. So, I have James Robinson, RB25. I have Cooks, wide receiver 30. So in that range, if it were PPR, I'd probably go Cooks. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. This changes everything. if it's 0.1 point per carry and half PPR, I go Robinson.
I think so too. Yeah, I think I go Robinson if there's any sort of point per carry. I think he's going to get the bulk of the workload. I think Hyde is pretty much kicked to the curb. Cooks worries me tonight. I don't know. With Davis Mills, he could throw 3 passes. I mean, we don't know what we're getting into. So yeah, I would go Robinson.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Let's see. Oh, Z2, welcome, Z2. What's up? Hope y'all had a great day. Thank you.
Yeah, I like that question. That's a good one. I can answer that. I did have a great day.
I'm definitely having a better day than I was when I did my show on Tuesday.
Always up.
Since this is my channel.
That's right.
And this show can't get canceled. I will just say that I was having, for anyone who listened to the Ask DLF show on Tuesday, I was having a brutal day on Tuesday. It's nothing to do with the industry or anything. It's stuff in my personal life. But, I was very happy, even though I was it was bad. But I just came onto the show anyway, and then just went back to whatever was going on. It was tough, but I'm not going to let those kind of things stop me from being here for the people.
Damn right.
Your content is fire. Thank you. And one more. I'm in Manhattan for a month. What's the spot for football? Oh, I don't really go out much, man. Most of my friends are not really that into football. So, yeah, I watch a lot of stuff on my own. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I actually went out to watch football, to be honest with you. I don't know. It's not something I really do. Oh, Trogdor. Okay. Trogdor is one of my bigger supporters. So, Dynasty season never ends. Yeah, no, it never ends. It's true. Terrace Marshall tonight or Zach Pascal. So, yeah, if your questions concern players tonight, I mean, we really want to get to those because that's why we did this show in the first place, is to be able to, get to those questions. So what do you think about this one between Terrace Marshall and Zach Pascal?
Well, in terms of sit start, I think it's Zach Pascal. I'm not sure about Terrace Marshall tonight. I just think that as a dynasty asset, of course, it's Terrace if it was a trade. But sit start, I think Zach's got a better chance. Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, I think he mentions dynasty and all there. I just want to make sure I'm clarifying. But yeah, I think it's Zach Pascal, but it's a tough one. I mean, Houston's defense isn't exactly that stout, but I don't know. I just feel like Darnold's still got some growing to do. You got Robbie Anderson, CMC, DJ Moore all taking targets. Yeah, I think I'd go Zach Pascal. He might be the top 2 target on that team this week instead of Marshall, who might be the 4th.
I can't do it. I can't.
I don't blame you.
I can't do it because Carson Wentz is not going to play.
True.
Carson Wentz is not going to play, so you're going to have Jacob Eason. I can't do that. So I guess I'll just go with Terrace Marshall and hope, the matchup is good. So, yeah, I mean, these are not guys I want to start. I have Terrace Marshall at wide receiver 57 and Zach Pascal at wide receiver 67.
Yeah.
So
this is not ideal. Something has gone wrong.
It's not ideal. So
it happens.
It happens, but not good options. Okay, from Jeffrey. What's up? Need to start one. Oh, there's a lot of players. Okay. Mooney, Jacoby Myers, Brian Edwards, Tim Patrick, or Hunter Henry. He feels like it's between Mooney and Patrick. What do you think?
I agree. I think it's probably between Mooney and Patrick, although I'm tempted to start Edwards just because I think he could have, a flash style kind of game. But I mean, Tim Patrick, I think, is the one that makes me the most intrigued. He's the least name, I guess, but I just think that offense with Bridgewater is a significant upgrade. I think Patrick's got the best chance to score a touchdown. Mooney makes me a little nervous with a new quarterback who likes to run. So, yeah, I'd probably go Patrick there.
Yeah, I got Patrick at wide receiver 39. The matchup against the Jets is really good. Myers I have at 49, Mooney at 47. So, and Hunter Henry is not.
Yeah, doesn't do much for me. He's a tight end too. I'm good.
Very good there. So, yeah, I would go with Patrick. Definitely. Glad you're doing better. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I've always said I'll die in this chair doing this show. So, I'll be here whether I'm doing better or not.
Love it.
Z2, half PPR with injuries to Higgins and Deontay. Do I start Robbie tonight or wait out on Higgins and Deontay? So, just from what I know, I mean, you're a Bengals fan, right? I mean, what I know, Higgins is going to play, and Deontay, I'm like 99% sure Higgins is going to play unless he gets injured between now and then. And I'm like 95% sure Deontay is not going to play.
Right.
So if you need, just consider it. I would consider your week as if Higgins is in and healthy and Deontay is out. So whatever that means for you, just forget you have Deontay. I have him ranked as where I have him ranked currently at wide receiver 36, which is where I would rank him if he somehow were active, just in case. Because he could still, he could deliver even if he's nowhere near 100%. I have him at wide receiver 36. Again, Cincinnati's a great matchup, same game. But I do not anticipate Deontay being active. So you're going to have to I would make other arrangements. Not that I want to start Robbie tonight, but you probably don't have another option.
Well, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. If you have to start two, I think it's Robbie and Higgins, right? I think if you have to start two of the three, if you have to start two of the three, then I think you go with Robbie tonight because I don't know if I trust both Higgins and Deontay being in on Sunday, right? But if I'm with you, if you have to start one, I think you wait. I think you hold off on Robbie and just let Higgins play on Sunday. That's my guess.
Higgins is going to play. So I don't have any concerns that Higgins is going to miss the game. Right. But what if he has more carries? It's more between that and the half PPR for Robinson versus Cooks, it's enough to make me lean the other way. Today could be a total disaster for Brandon Cooks.
The floor is 0 for Cooks. Right?
Zero.
The floor is 0. He literally could get a goose egg tonight. Right?
Well, it's possible Mills throws for 50 yards.
Right. So, and to be honest, the ceiling is 3 touchdowns and 800 yards, right? We don't know. It could be getting everything. The volatility is so high. I don't like it. Right. And if I'm looking at a flex spot, sometimes you need a little volatility. So I guess this is as good a point as any to mention. If your other guys are boring and you have a lot of, high floor, no ceiling players, maybe you go Cooks. If you're a big underdog this week playing a big team, maybe you go Cooks because you got nothing to shoot for the fences. But yeah, if you're asking me in a vacuum, I think Robinson probably gets up to 15, 20 carries this week, which is a pretty fair amount of points. That's another 2 points. That's like 4 catches for Cooks, which is all he might get. So, I think Robinson has a lot more opportunity, a lot more upside. So, I'm probably going Robinson in almost every case, unless I'm, again, long shot, down by, going against the best team in the league and I have no chance. Maybe then I go Cooks because what do I got to lose? But
yeah, probably in the flat half PPR, I'd still prefer Cooks, but the 1.5 extra points I'm expecting to get from Robinson is probably enough to swing.
That's how close they are. Yeah, I kind of agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be close. Okay, stuck and half from MJ. Stuck and have to play either Mooney or Elijah Moore this week. Well, This is easy. I mean, Elijah Moore is a no-go.
I would agree. Yeah, I think this is Mooney by a mile to me.
Work. Yeah, that's not going to work. I mean, I have Elijah Moore at 65. It's just a no-go. I can't. It's against Denver. Zach Wilson looked like garbage last week. I mean, this is Crowder. I think is going to play.
Yep,
I'm not 100% sure. But that wouldn't really change it that much because Mooney or Moore has been the wide receiver 2 anyway. It would be Braxton Berrios who would lose his role.
Yep.
So yeah, I cannot play Elijah Moore.
I'm not starting Moore until I see him do something. Really, I'm not going to put him in my lineup until he's already done something a week on my bench. Right. That's just how I am with him.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Okay. I'm not going to try. Jade Kirschville. Is Allen Robinson and Logan Thomas a fair trade for Kittle and Williams? Okay, so a few things here. One, there's a lot of Williamses. So can we get who that is? And 2 is redraft or dynasty. So we'll come back to this if you give us a little bit of just tell me who that is and tell us if this is redraft or dynasty, and then we'll come right back to it. What happened is I traded my depth for Fields. I assume this is Dynasty Superflex. In that case, I like it. But yeah. Fields needs to take the job by force this weekend. I wouldn't worry about that.
I think he will. Yeah.
I think he's fine. Yeah.
I mean, he's got to beat Andy Dalton. Come on. That should be easy enough.
How bad could you be? Yeah. Okay. What do you think of the trade? In my mind, I traded high on Gronk and what trade?
Gronk and Tyson Williams for Kittle?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Gronk and Tyson Williams for Kittle. I'd probably do that.
I like the Kittle side. Yeah, I like that. I kind of like his logic there. Yeah, I think Gronk's probably not going to keep doing what he's doing, and Kittle won't keep doing what he's doing, right? I think they're both going to eventually come back around.
Exactly. This has to be redraft, though.
I would agree. Yeah.
In
Dynasty, that makes no sense.
It does not. So that has to be redraft. And I would do it. Okay. So we will go to some of the in advance questions. We'll just do them in the order I put them in. So the first one from AJ Carrion 8110, Myles Gaskin or Darrell Henderson?
Man, I have a similar decision, but I like Gaskin, especially with Brissett back there. I think there might be a chance that he gets more run and gets more leash, but Henderson is in a baller offense. I think there's a chance that Henderson has a great game. So it literally, to me, this is almost like a coin flip to me. I think both of them have the chance. So really? I'll leave it to you, Tyler. You pick.
I have Gaskin at 18 and Henderson at 33. So
there you go. All right.
Yeah, like Gaskin's playing Vegas. And Vegas, I mean, they've won the first 2 games, but it was not the defense that made them win the first 2 games.
True. But I worry. The only thing I worry about with that is Gaskin, obviously, with Brissett, could be more, it could be less. He's more volatile. I think Henderson, I don't even know if Henderson's healthy, I guess, is really.
No, Henderson is not healthy.
Yeah, so that changes things too. I think that makes
he's also playing Tampa.
Likely. Oh, that's true. Yep.
So Henderson is a no-go for me this week, basically, completely. He's not healthy. I think that they might put him out there, but he's not 100%. There's just no way he could be.
Yeah, that changes things.
If he plays, he's going to play in a flak jacket to protect the ribs. Oh, well, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're right, actually. And that will make it less likely that he breaks out. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to be effective. So
fair.
He's a sit for me. Gaskin pretty easily. Okay. Let's go back to the live questions from Lefty Geo. Thanks for all the great content. You're welcome. There was demand for a lot of content, so that's why this YouTube channel kind of got launched honestly, it really got launched last minute. So
I love it. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, happens. All right, Javonte Williams or Damian Harris. So I don't know if the format would really change it because I'm pretty actually. I do have them back to back.
I mean, I'll go Williams just because I think his upside is higher. I think Damian Harris has a little bit more of a higher floor, maybe, if you want to get nitpicky with it. So, I mean, Harris probably gets more carries, but I think Williams gets more yards and has a better chance at a touchdown. But I mean, yeah, it's another kind of coin flip in my head. Like, either way you go, I don't think you're doing anything wrong, but I probably go Williams.
PPR. Yeah, this one I literally have them back to back. I have Damian Harris at 22 and I have Javonte Williams at 23. I love Javonte Williams' matchup against the Jaguars, obviously. Damian Harris is against the Saints, but is that good? Not really, but it's not as
They've
bad.
been tough.
Could be. It's not as bad, but what are they going to do? Throw the ball all the time? I mean, that's not really an option for them. So not really. So Damon Harris looked really good last week. Really, really good. I mean, that run that he had is one of the best, probably the best run we've had this season from any running back.
You're probably right, actually.
I mean, you'd have to think they're going to get him more involved. I worry that they could just Javonte Williams, like they could just spend most of the time running out Gordon if they're up 20.
True, because they don't have to worry about him long term.
I figure they need Javonte more in the games that are going to count later. So that's why I don't have Javonte higher. I have Melvin Gordon ranked higher this week. I have Gordon at 20 and Javonte at 23. So, I like them both.
Yeah, neither one are bad plays. And that's kind of where I love these kind of questions where it's like, man, you got a pretty good team. Either way, no matter which way you pick, you're doing the best you can. That's pretty good options.
Well, because both of these players are ranked higher than you drafted them.
Right.
So, especially Harris. So, okay. Odell from Beast Mode tie. Odell, Miles Sanders, and Brandon Cooks at flex, full PPR. This is really easy.
I say Miles Sanders. I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not all the way out on Odell like everybody else is, but he's coming back from injury. That offense is going to look different without Landry. I don't trust it. And like we talked about Cooks already, I think there's a whole bunch of volatility there. So yeah, it's Sanders for me, even with Gainwell. I think Sanders is a full option for me. He's a full go.
Sanders by a mile. Yeah, that's easy decision. Okay, so no Deontay. Do you go with KJ Osborne or Robbie Anderson? I mean,
that's Robbie for me in a mile. Yeah. I actually just wrote an article from PFN saying to start Robbie Anderson tonight in a flex, right? Like, so yeah, I think he's going to do okay tonight.
I have Robbie Anderson at wide receiver 38. So
yeah, that's flex range.
I was someone who just did not understand why people liked Robbie Anderson the whole time. I was like, these people are telling me that Robbie Anderson's going to be a top 24 wide receiver. And they're just, honestly, they're just being stupid. I can say that on this channel. I was like, I don't get it. I don't get it. How is that possible? The target share is not going to be there.
It's possible if McCaffrey gets hurt, but that's about it.
Right. Yeah. But like, you don't draft if you draft players and you need an injury to be right, then your reasoning sucked.
Correct. That's bad process.
It's something I never understood. It's one of the takes that I was like the most adamant about that I just did not understand this offseason. And clearly Robbie's role is a big fat nothing. So I don't get that one. But I do have him at wide receiver 38, and I'm not impressed. Okay. I will tell you, Dante, that I don't bother ranking defense. There are other people who do this much better than me. Panthers defense versus Texans or Broncos versus Jets. I think the Panthers defense versus the Texans are probably my number one defense this week, even not knowing anything about defenses. I think I'm smart enough to figure that one out.
Yeah, short week against a rookie quarterback. I mean,
yeah. Broncos might be number 2. They might be number 2, but Panthers has got to be number 1, right? I mean, there's just there's no other way. But yeah, I won't waste your time trying to talk about why. Okay. If Deontay is out, he will be. So more than likely, I'd say it's like 90% chance he's not going to play. So standard flex: Tyson versus the Lions, Cooks versus the Panthers. So Cooks today. Shepard versus the Falcons. So there's a lot of players. Edmonds versus the Jags. Or Marvin Jones versus the Cardinals. So it's a standard flex. So standard, not PPR. Okay. Well, in that case,
I think I have my answer, but man, this is tough.
Well, I mean, to me, in a standard, that just eliminates any idea that I would go with Jones.
Agreed.
Or Cooks even.
Agreed.
I probably would go Tyson Williams in a standard. I mean, if this were PPR, it would be Chase Edmonds because I have Chase Edmonds very high this week. I have him at running back 19, but a lot of that is because of possible receptions. I mean, the matchup against Jacksonville is strong, but I still don't know if Chase Edmonds is going to get the goal line. And in a standard, you need the goal line. And I don't know if that's coming.
I totally agree. I think of all these players, Tyson's the one that's got the most touchdown upside, and with no PPR and no catching to worry about, all the receivers, you have to think about them all like running backs in a way anyway. Who's going to get the touchdown? I think Tyson has the best chance, and he's probably going to get enough workload to get yards for you. on a running offense. Yeah, I think it's Tyson, but that's an odd question. Think about back before in draft season. Would this have been an honest question? Like Tyson Williams, the 4th running back for the Ravens? Nope, he is now. So
the fact that Sterling Shepard is like a legitimate consideration is also odd.
Yep. What a weird year.
But yeah, I think Chase Edmonds is the least likely of all of these players to score. The least.
Again, in PPR though, I like your logic. In PPR, Edmonds would probably be my pick because I think he gets 8 to 10 catches maybe out of the backfield. So that helps him. That's a touchdown right there.
10 catches, but if 6 catches is a touchdown.
Yep.
But
he's not getting that.
Probably is good. Well, yeah, I mean, he's probably going to average, what would you say is fair? About 4 catches a game.
Well, I'm saying even if he gets 6 catches, you don't get points for it in this league, so it doesn't matter, right? Exactly. So even if he gets 6 to 8, which I think he could get this week, he could get 6 to 8 catches, but you don't get points for it. So who cares?
But he would probably he probably averages about 4 catches a game, and Tyson probably averages like 1.
Right.
Expected. So you're losing 3 points in this format on Tyson versus Edmonds, which is enough to bring me back to Tyson.
Yep.
He has higher touchdowns. Okay, Dante again. PPR, Brady or Rodgers? Good question. So this week I have, it's interesting. Last week I remember having 10 quarterbacks I really liked. The 10 quarterbacks I kind of felt like were above the crew. This week I have 8. Neither of these are one of them. Neither of these are one of the 8 that I'm like really excited about. But I have Brady at 9 and Rodgers at 10. So you have a strong
feeling I'm at. Well, I don't really have a strong feeling. I think Rodgers showed out last week, which we all knew he was going to do. It's a different week. I'm not sure it's going to be quite the revenge game on Monday night. Of course, they don't have all that. I would probably lean Brady, but I love the PPR. Which one do you think catches a pass, right? Which one of these two catches a ball? I love it.
But yeah, Brady against the Rams, Rodgers against 49ers. I would go with the guy who's been good in both games over the guy who was only good in one.
I was just gonna say I think Brady's been more consistent, so that's probably where I lean, just as a tiebreaker, because they're both pretty good. They're definitely in that wide or quarterback one conversation. You know what I mean? Like they're both right there. So I go Brady.
Yeah, honestly, it's not that close to me. Like now that I look at it, I think Rodgers is closer to the quarterbacks below him than he really is to Brady. Brady's kind of been an island for me this week. I like him a lot worse than my top 8, but a good fair bit more than everyone below him. All right. Okay. From Jeffrey. So PPR need one to start at flex. Christian Kirk, KJ Osborne, or James Robinson. This is easy, right?
He says PPR, but I still kind of lean Robinson, to be honest. I just even PPR. I like Kirk, don't get me wrong, but with Rondale balling out, you still got AJ Green, you still got DeAndre Hopkins. Like Kirk and Osborne both are the third option. James Robinson is most likely going to be the bell cow back. Even in PPR, I probably lean Robinson.
Yeah, I have Robinson RB25 and Kirk wide receiver 48. Kirk is actually not a bad desperation play this week.
No.
I really hope that they cut AJ Green snaps down and start, getting Rondale out there more. Because I think his playing time should come at the expense of Green, not really Kirk. But we'll see. Jacksonville's as good of a matchup as you could hope for. But it's just not enough. I'll go Robinson. All right, from James. Start 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and 1 flex. A lot of things. Okay, do we really need me to tell you to start McCaffrey? I really hope not. We're going to start McCaffrey, Diggs, and Lamb. We're not benching any of those ever. And honestly, I'm really not typically even going to consider benching Swift.
Yep.
So you have those 4. That's 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers. So then you really just need a flex from CEH, Hollywood, Tyson Williams, and Sterling Shepard, half PPR. This is just wonderful.
I think I lean Tyson again. I mean, even half PPR, I still think there's enough value in what he brings. I don't know how many catches you're going to get from CEH. Probably none. You're probably not going to get a whole lot from Brown, although he did have a good week last week. Sterling Shepard has some value, but I don't know. I would probably feel most comfortable with Tyson knowing those other 4 are in there. You got some pretty good, ceiling plays in there with Diggs, McCaffrey, CD. I think I'd take Tyson with the floor and call it a day. I
mean, I hesitate to go back to CEH. CEH was like impossible to rank this week, really.
Yeah.
I ranked him at RB21. So if I were to just go, it feels wrong, but if I were to go by my rankings in half PPR, I have Hollywood at wide receiver 32, Sterling Shepard at 33. It feels wrong to say that CEH is the answer here, but that's probably what it would be. As wrong as that feels for me, that's probably what I usually would just stick to my rankings and go with it. If Kenny Golladay doesn't play,
that's true.
Sterling Shepard as the answer here.
That's a fair point. We didn't discuss that earlier either. I think Golladay plays, but if for some reason on Sunday he's not, you've got time. The only guy playing tonight is McCaffrey, so
he has a new injury. He has a new hip injury now, so which is what he missed all of last season with.
Great.
So I don't know. I'm tired of Kenny Golladay.
Yeah,
very tired of him. Okay, from Dante, PPR, Mike Davis, Myles Gaskin, or Rondale Moore. It's pretty easy for me.
Is it Rondale Moore for you?
No, it's not Myles Gaskin.
I was going to say the same, but I feel like Rondale Moore, I just feel like, man, he flashed last week. I'm not sure if he does that again, so I was kind of nervous, but I don't know. I feel like it might be ride the lightning time. Maybe that'd be kind of fun, but I'd probably go with you. At the last minute, I'd probably put Gaskin in and just say, let's play it safe, because I think Gaskin gets enough points this week, even in PPR. I think he catches.
I really like Gaskin's matchup this week a lot.
Yeah.
And they're not going to have a choice. They're going to have to lean on the run.
Yep.
I like Rondale Moore, but I have him wide receiver 37. It's not like I have him. There's only so much I can do. He needs to get the snap count. He didn't even play half the snaps last week. There's only so high I can rank him.
Yeah, his snaps went up in week 1 and week 2, and if that trend continues, he'll be awesome. But we don't know that, right? We can't create a trend that's not there. It's just 2 weeks. That's not enough.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of good options. I basically ranked him behind everyone that I had like confidence in, and ahead of everyone else.
He's got a high ceiling but a low floor, right? He's one of those great volatility kind of plays again.
Yeah, the first guy who comes in behind him is Robbie Anderson, actually. So, that just goes to show you that Robbie Anderson and down, I don't have confidence. And everyone else above, there's guys like Golladay and Deontay Johnson who are sitting above him, but they might be hurt. So the last guy that I actually have some faith in above him is Corey Davis in the volume. All right, from Colin. Okay, this is a trade. This is Dynasty. 12-team PPR trade. Mixon, Amari Cooper, and Hawkinson for Derrick Henry, Deontay Johnson, and Kyle Pitts.
Oof. Well, I'll jump in first. This one kind of hinges entirely, in my opinion, what you it's redraft, he says. But this one, okay, this one, as I say, either way, this one depends a lot on what you think Kyle Pitts is going to be. For me, I probably take the Hawkinson side, even though Derrick Henry is a beast. But I think Hawkinson is the real deal. I think he's the next tight end 2, tight end 3. He's going to be in that next thing, and I'm not sure Pitts gets there. So in redraft, I probably go Hawkinson, and in Dynasty, I probably go the Pitts side. But man, they're both pretty solid. And Deontay being hurt doesn't help that side for me either. So I get the Derrick Henry appeal, and he balled out this week, and he can do that to you at 40 points on a Monday night or whatever. But and I like Mixon. I think he's going to get the ball. I think Cooper is going to get the ball. I think Hawkins is going to get the ball. So that's the side I take.
Yeah, in redraft, Cooper's a low-end wide receiver 1. Hawkinson is a difference maker. Yeah, I think in redraft, we just don't know. We have just no idea how long Deontay Johnson is going to be out. If it's 3 weeks, that's just a blip on the radar in Dynasty, but in redraft, that's a really big deal. So just I think for that reason, I would go with the Hawkinson side. I'm not sure that Pitts is really going to be usable. He'll be usable, but he's not going to be a difference maker this year, whereas Hawkinson is going to be. So
agreed. Yep.
I think that's what it's going to have to be. It's going to have to be that side. All right. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Okay. Good question. We were talking about Sterling Shepard earlier and Bengals. So brought this one up for you and me. Our teams are on this question. So from @Pleasy21, Shepard or Chase, full PPR?
Chase by a mile to me. I think Chase is really dominating that alpha wide receiver one kind of conversation. I think redraft or dynasty, this is an easy one for me. Obviously, it doesn't matter for starting lineups, but I think Chase is definitely going to have a good week against Pittsburgh. I think Burrow's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I mean, I don't know, that game last week, he seemed to recover nicely after throwing 3 straight interceptions to throw 2 straight touchdowns, one of which to Higgins and one of which to Chase. So I think Chase is probably the better play for me. Not even being a homer, I just think Chase is the better pick.
Yeah, for me, I mean, it's close. I'm not that high on Chase this week. I have Chase at 27 and Shepard at 33. If Kenny Golladay misses the game, I mean, Shepard would probably become at that point, it would be, I have Devonta Smith at 25 and Chase Claypool at 26, who I would probably keep ahead of Shepard, but I would consider Shepard right in there with Chase, who I have at 27, and Higgins at 28. And I would have him above Juju, who I have at 29. So that's literally would be the decision I had to make. But if Golladay is active, it's easily Chase. If Golladay is inactive, a lot of it then would depend on Higgins' injury. How healthy is Higgins? If Higgins is a complete full go and Golladay is inactive, I'll probably go with Sterling Shepard.
That's fair. I still think Chase is too dominant, and Shepard he's going to get touches and he's going to get points and be boring. But I'd rather have the flashy guy myself.
Yeah, Shepard is actually pretty flashy the last 2 weeks. And this is they're playing Atlanta.
True. No, that helps because Atlanta's terrible. I agree.
Atlanta's terrible. I'm just worried. We saw Pittsburgh against Josh Allen in week 1. It just didn't deliver. So this matchup, to me, Pittsburgh is one of the worst matchups possible because Pittsburgh runs the offense kind of around Najee Harris. They want to run the ball. They want to, control the clock. So that takes time off of the clock. And then against the defense, they don't really give up a lot of big plays. And I don't know. This is not a good matchup. So
you're convincing me on some things, but I still lean Chase. You're right. It isn't probably going to be quite that awesome, but I do think that Chase is the dominant guy there, and I'd rather have that wide receiver one than the Giants wide receiver one with Daniel Jones. Even though he's doing better as a fantasy asset, I just don't trust him to throw the ball that much. He's going to run a lot and get some points, but I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm pretty high on Sterling Shepard, at least how he's been. There was a lot of talk about him this offseason, which I mostly ignored, by the way. Oops.
Smart.
Not really.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah.
So good so far.
Yeah.
Okay, from Lucas. Cooks or Woods?
I think I go Woods.
Got to be Woods.
Yeah, I think I go Woods. I can't trust Cooks. I'm sorry. I like Cooks as a player, but not tonight with a rookie. I can't do it.
I think Woods is playing Tampa. The matchup is bad. But I'm less worried about Tampa for the pass catchers than I am for the running game. Because the reason why I don't like the running game against Tampa, of any team's running game, is that Tampa's going to go out ahead. They have a great run defense. So a great run defense, and you're playing from behind. So the running game is not favored. But the passing game could work out because you're playing from behind. So
I think they're going to cover the hell out of Kupp. So I think that could make Woods an option this week because Kupp's been blowing up.
Yeah,
he's going to be key in that offense.
I have a good separation between Kupp and Woods. I have Kupp at 9 and Woods at 22. But 22 is not bad.
No.
I have Cooks down at 30. So
yeah, still better than Cooks.
Yeah. They're not even in the same tier this week.
Right.
All right. Tanya or Tony E or whatever. I always forget how to pronounce that. Half PPR. Pick 2 running backs. CEH, Hunt, Mixon, J-Rob, or Javonte Williams. So you're never sitting Mixon. So Mixon. You never sit Mixon. And then of the rest of these, they're all in the same range, at least for me. I have CEH at 21, Javonte at 23, Robinson at 25, and Hunt at 26. Yeah.
I agree with you. I think Mixon for sure. And then I probably go CEH. I think he's probably got, and even in half PPR, I think I go Mixon or Hunt. Sorry, CEH and Mixon there. Hunt's tempting because it's half PPR. Maybe if it was full, I might go Hunt. But yeah, I like CEH and Mixon. Yeah.
I'm just not that in on Hunt. I only have Hunt at 26.
He worries me a little bit. That offense is going to look weird this week. Like I said before, with no Landry and I don't know, just not sure how much I want to trust that.
Chase or Mike Williams?
can't believe this is actually a question. It is. I know it is worth it, but
Believe
it's Chase. But man, Mike Williams has been dominating lately, so it makes it a worthy question. But I would still go Chase. I know you might have Williams higher, but I like Chase more.
Yeah, to me, it's not much of a question. It's easily Mike Williams.
There you go. That's what I mean. Like it's such an odd question, but I still go Chase.
Chase. I mean, we talked about Chase earlier. Chase's matchup is the worst possible, and Mike Williams is playing Kansas City. They're going to be way behind. He's dominated. I mean, I almost have concerns of my rankings here because I have Keenan Allen at 10 and Mike Williams at 23. Also, half PPR makes me like Williams even more. But I have Keenan Allen at 10 and Mike Williams at 23, and that feels wrong. Like, Williams has been just as good, if not better.
Well, and that's what I've heard this on other podcasts and other people talking about this. Like, they're separated, but should they be? Like, their performance is almost identical. Like, they've had the same season.
Yeah.
And it's because of potential and upside and all this. But if you're that low on, if you're taking Michael Will over Chase, are you taking Mike Williams over Higgins?
I have Higgins lower than Chase.
That's what I thought. So yeah, you're taking Mike Williams over all of those guys, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Williams at 23 and Chase at 27, but not really in the same tier. Williams is the end. Yeah. Williams at 23. And that kind of looks like the end of a tier because then next is Cortland Sutton at 24, who, well, he was amazing last week. I was 1 week, and week 1 was really bad. So I don't have the same confidence in Cortland Sutton. And that begins a group of where I have less confidence. Cortland Sutton, Devonta Smith, Chase Claypool, Chase and Higgins, Juju. That's a group of less confidence. Whereas with Mike Williams, I'm very confident.
And you make a good point with the Kansas City added bonus too, right? It's going to be a shootout potential. Kansas
City, this used to not work, targeting passing game options against Kansas City. It was always kind of a little bit of a fool's errand. But I don't know. I mean, Kansas City, yeah, Lamar didn't really throw the ball that much, but he was able to connect with Hollywood Brown. And Hollywood Brown, as much as I like Hollywood Brown, he doesn't provide the physical ability that Mike Williams does, nor is Lamar Jackson have any portion of what Justin Herbert delivers.
And that offense just doesn't throw. I mean, yeah, they're not designed to do that.
But if they couldn't even cover Hollywood Brown properly.
Yeah.
So how are they going to deal with Mike Williams when Keenan Allen is also another weapon is also on the field? And then there's also Austin Eckler, who's another pass game. I don't know. I don't see how they're going to manage to cover all of those guys. I think it's going to be another shootout. I love Mike Williams. Talked about this. Higgins might be out. How much of a bump would Chase get? He'd get a bump, but not enough to put him over Mike Williams. I think Chase would be at the top of the tier he's in now.
So 2 or 3 people, that's about it, right? Yeah.
I'm very confident in Mike Williams. But I think Chase would go right between Mike Williams and Cortland Sutton. Chase would move above Sutton because I would have more confidence in the volume.
When you're just so out on the Steelers defense, you just don't want to face that matchup. No matter if Higgins is there or not, doesn't change too much for you on Chase. I get that.
No, and I still think that today,
as of right now, we think he's playing, right?
Well, he is going to play, but also today, I still think that Mike Williams is a better NFL player than Jamar Chase today. That's not going to last very long.
Okay.
That's not going to last very long.
I hear you. I can understand where you're coming from.
He's a veteran. He's a veteran who's had a long time. But I think that by the end of this year, I'm a big Jamar Chase fan. I think by the end of this year, we're going to be ranking Chase weekly as a wide receiver 1. I think
it's not this week. Yeah, it's week 3 of his rookie season against a tough defense.
Against a tough defense, but I've already come to the point where I've ranked Chase as the Bengals wide receiver 1. So I'm already on that portion of it. I don't have any of the Bengals wide receivers that high. I have Joe Burrow as quarterback 20 this week. I don't love no part of him.
Yeah, that's not great.
Brutal, but I just think he hasn't shown me himself really that he deserves to be forced in a tough matchup. So I'm not forcing him in. All right. This one hurts to ask. Half PPR. Fuller, MVS, or Elijah Moore?
I mean, puke. But I understand why it hurts to answer, if that helps. But I guess I go Fuller. I just feel like MVS is I don't know, way too risky.
Yes.
Moore is way too risky. I think it's Fuller, even though he's risky too. I don't know.
I'll just throw my hands up and hope that Fuller delivers because these other two are not an option.
Yeah.
So I'll just take my chances on Fuller. I have Fuller not that low. I have Fuller wide receiver 41. The matchup is strong against Vegas. I mean, Vegas's offense has been good and defense has been bad. So I kind of like starting players. Also, the odds that Miami is ahead in this game are minimal.
Yeah.
So but can Brissett do anything with Fuller?
We don't know, but I mean, again, I'd rather take that risk than the other two. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
The other two are just, I mean,
ooh, they're that bad. Yeah.
Valdez-Scantling I have at wide receiver 70. So I'm just completely uninterested. Elijah Moore at 65.
Again, the other MVS and Moore need to prove it to me before I start him. Fuller, I don't think he does. We've seen what he can do in the past. Even though it's a new offense with a weird quarterback situation, it's slightly better than the other two trash heaps. Yeah.
I mean, MVS gave us what, a big fat 0 last week? Was
it like 1 point or something? But yeah,
1 point. I mean, it's not gonna work. 1 point is just, and in a game that they scored 35 for. No, actually, a big fat 0. 4 targets and a 0. They scored 35 points, and he gave us 0. So that's not gonna work.
Great.
All right, full tilt Dynasty pod. Kupp or DJ Moore in the flex PPR. Also, much love, Tyler, from Thomas Tipple FFL. Thank you. Okay. We haven't really talked about DJ Moore much tonight. We talked a lot about Robbie Anderson. How's your confidence in DJ Moore tonight?
I like DJ Moore a lot. I think the DJ Moore tonight could be something that you're happy with, but I have Kupp higher. I feel like if this is your choice, you must have a stacked receiving group. If these are your two options in the flex, like you must have like, I don't want to say like Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill as your top two or something. Because like Kupp and DJ Moore are terrific as a third receiver, fourth receiver option.
It's got to be Dynasty. In redraft,
I'm thinking the same because redraft, it's hard to get a team like that without somebody tanking in week 2, which doesn't happen. So yeah, I think it's Kupp, but man, it's tough to bench DJ Moore tonight. But I probably would if this was the option.
Yeah, I have DJ Moore at wide receiver 15. So that
says a lot. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, he is the start of what I would say. I mean, he's close. I don't know where he would be in my tiers, but he is definitely in the full confidence, no doubts range of things.
Yep.
At 15, but I have Kupp at 9. So
yep.
I'm all in on Cooper Kupp this week,
especially in full PPR. I mean, he's going to get maybe 9 to 12 passes. That's not something you see DJ Moore getting. So
not usually, no. And they're going to get ahead. So, but I just think DJ Moore can do so much damage even in the first half.
Yep.
He has Adams, Metcalf, Moore, and Kupp. Yeah, I mean, Adams, I have at wide receiver 1, like I do almost every week.
Yep.
And Metcalf, I have minor concerns, but I don't like my ranking of DK Metcalf.
What is your ranking? Where do you have him in relation
5.
to Kupp? 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably where I'd have him.
I think this is Metcalf's, like, I don't want to say it's Metcalf's last chance, but like if he doesn't deliver this week, I'm probably going to reevaluate just auto ranking him as a wide receiver, a mid wide receiver 1 every week. I'm not saying I'm going to drop him entirely, but I'd consider, I have him ahead of Calvin Ridley, ahead of CeeDee Lamb, ahead of Justin Jefferson this week. And, I just think the matchup against Minnesota is great. Russell Wilson has been cooking so far. And I do not buy that Tyler Lockett has become the wide receiver 1. I don't buy that.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I want it to happen where I have Lockett, I'm with you. I don't think that sustains. I mean, we've seen this before.
I have Lockett at 12.
We've seen this before. Lockett goes up and down. He gets all over the place. So yeah, I'm with you. I think DK is still the 1, but Lockett might be the better fantasy player here and there.
But unlike AJ Brown, who had a bad game, DK Metcalf, this is more of a role issue. Like if this week it's going to be 7 targets or something, and it's just nothing special on those targets, and he's not getting enough downfield looks, I'm going to have to reconsider. I don't know in Dynasty how much I would consider, but from a weekly perspective, I'm going to have to reconsider just ranking him there. But for now, I still believe he's one of the most talented wide receivers in the league, on one of the best offenses in some ways in the league, in a matchup against Minnesota, who has been unimpressive in every single way. Actually, decent offense, but completely unimpressive defense, which is exactly what you want to play against.
Yep, I'm with you.
Good offense, bad defense. So, yeah, I would leave more out there, but it's tough.
That hurts, but it's good. That's a good hurt.
Yeah. Okay, this is a good question. How much do you take cornerback wide receiver matchups into consideration? Tre Davious White versus Scary Terry. This is probably more your area of expertise than mine, maybe?
Well, I mean, I don't get too specific on like the one-on-ones. I used to really pay attention a lot to that, and I don't know if I want to say I stopped. Maybe I just got sick of it because I didn't feel like it was as predictive as I wanted it to be. There are definitely times where it is like, and there are, your handful of quarterbacks that just lock people down, right? And Tre Davious White could be one of those, but I think Terry is a generational kind of talent and has the chance to beat White. But no, I mean, again, I used to care a lot, and I don't really care that much anymore. Like I'm kind of where you were saying before, like where if it's a generally good defense, that's what I look out for. If it's, they pass the teams off, they're doing zone defenses more now. They're not doing a whole lot of on an island kind of plays. Absolutely. So I don't get too crazy into it. I think sometimes it helps break a tie, right? Where that's maybe where you can look at it and say, well, they both have tough matchups. They both have bad quarterbacks. They both are going to be playing from behind. What's the fourth tiebreaker? Well, let's see who the cornerback matchup is. Like sometimes like I'll go that deep, but it's pretty rare. This is more of a DFS concept, and I just dislike DFS.
I stopped playing DFS. It just wasn't for me. I'm more the long game.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not for me, but I played it a couple of years ago. I just didn't enjoy myself, and I just stopped.
Well, I was doing the thing where, like, in my favorite league, I was going against Christian McCaffrey and DK Metcalf, so I'd put him on my DFS team just to be like, all right, cool. That way I win no matter what. But it just kind of watered it all down. I was like, nah, it's not as fun anymore. So I just don't do it anymore.
I just don't enjoy it. So this is more of a DFS thing. Most teams rotate their defenses all over the field because receivers are rotating everywhere.
Exactly.
You have to be a really good receiver to want to be put on an island. And if you're a really good receiver, yeah, I might downgrade them in my rankings, but it's never going to be far enough that I'm sitting them. So typically, while these things are all great, they don't end up mattering. They don't end up.
Right. If it was like Cole Beasley, yeah, okay. I'm going to, but like we're not down that far, right? Like Scary Terry's a wide receiver 1, maybe a wide receiver 2 with the matchup. We're fine. Why are we thinking about this?
Kind of thing where it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you're good enough to be shadowed, I'm going to start you anyway. If you're not as good, then you're not going to be shadowed.
And I'm not going to put you in my lineup. Yeah,
so
exactly.
So both ways, I just don't care. Practically, it has little to no impact. Now, with Terry McLaurin, because of the matchup with Buffalo and the existence of White, he is wide receiver 16 this week, not so high. So, but again, in most leagues, we just did have a question where wide receiver 15, DJ Moore, sacked. But in most scenarios, wide receiver 16 is starting for your team.
Agreed.
So it's not going to practically change your decision. He's not going to fall far enough to change your decision. But, I do consider these things.
Well, and again, like you said, it for DFS, it makes sense because you might have a guy that's got a really tough matchup, a tough cornerback matchup, and then another guy who's $1,000 less on the DFS, lineup.
You have the whole player pool.
Well, of course, and that's what I mean. Like that can change your mind too. Be like, all right, well, this guy is $1,000 less and has a better matchup. I think they're close enough that I'll save the $1,000 to spend on something else. You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole bunch of other considerations that you don't have in a general fantasy league where it's just start sit.
Exactly, because you have every player to pick from.
Exactly.
Okay, let's try to get some of the ones that are about tonight's players from the in advance chat because we only have a little over 10 minutes left.
That's right.
From Josh Kahn. Flex, Tyson Williams, or Brandon Cooks. I feel like we've talked about a lot of this, half PPR. So this time there's no bonuses, but what's your thought on this one?
I still lean Tyson just because I'm just not sold on Cooks. It would almost take a miracle for me to put Cooks in the lineup. And I'll be honest, I'm in a league where it's a dynasty rebuild and it is ugly. And Cooks is my second flex. And we start, 2 receiver, 2 flex. And I don't like the team, right? I'm looking to lose, but I'm like, well, shoot, might as well go for the moon. Let's see what we can get. But other than that, I would gladly start Tyson over Cooks.
Yeah, and half PPR, I'll go with Tyson. Yeah. Even if in full PPR, I might go with Cooks.
Yeah.
Let's see. We need to find, what are we looking for? We're looking for the ones about tonight. Oh, okay. This is a funny one, actually. Cooks or Gronk for the flex?
Gronk smash for me. I just feel like that team is running through Gronk at this point. And even if Cooks had Deshaun Watson, I might pick Gronk here. I mean, like, I just think that Gronk is too ridiculous right now to bench. And that's why I put it in our chat. Like, I had a start sit question kind of my own. Like, do I bench CeeDee Lamb or Gronkowski? You know what I mean? Like, what? That's an odd decision to have to make. You know what I mean? I got Lamb, Ridley, Adams, and somebody else I can't remember, but I got Gronk on my bench. And I'm like, man, do I put Gronk in there over these guys? I think I might. Like, it's just tempting. He's really doing well right now.
Yeah, I'm just not going to do that.
I don't blame you.
Playing tight ends in the flex outside of tight end premium usually doesn't work out.
I know, but he's getting touchdowns. Come on.
I don't know. I'm still going to go Cooks. I mean, I'm with Gronk, I get it, but
what if he was a receiver? Why would that change anything? He's catching the ball, right? He's getting 2 touchdowns. That's 2 more touchdowns than I think Cooks gets.
Well, I just think that Cooks is probably good for 50% more targets than Gronk or more.
I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I think Gronk and him are probably equal in targets, and I think Gronk's got twice the touchdown potential in my mind.
How many targets did Brandon Cooks have last?
Well, who was the quarterback? It wasn't Davis Mills. That's what I'm trying. David Mills. That's what I'm trying to say. Like
Mills for the second. When actually he got all the targets with Davis Mills.
You're right, but yeah, you're fair enough. But I'm just saying, like, I just don't trust that. I don't know. I'd rather have the Gronk
14
myself.
Targets last week.
That's insane.
Yeah, so that's why I'm still gonna put Cooks in there, even though I hate the matchup. Okay, so Devonta Smith versus Dallas or Rondale Moore versus Jacksonville. That part of it we basically covered earlier when we talked about Rondale Moore kind of being in the range. I would go with Devonta Smith.
I would too.
But I brought this question up for the second part, which was Darnold tonight or Fields versus Cleveland. We haven't talked much about Fields, really.
No, I mean, we kind of hit on it a little bit, but I mean, Darnold tonight, I feel like this game could get out of hand quick. I think McCaffrey could finally get some touchdowns, and I think there's a chance that they're running the ball more than they're passing it. But Fields it's tempting. I might start Fields here just because he's the first quarterback, like first game he's starting or whatever. Cleveland's pretty tough, man. I kind of waffle on this, but I guess I'll go Darnold tonight. I feel like because it's tonight, I probably would go Darnold and just not wait, because I would probably hem and haw over it all week. So it's like, hey, just give me Darnold and let's see how it goes, because I do think there's a chance that he throws 2 passes to McCaffrey. You know what I mean, for touchdowns. So yeah.
If this were any other running back on this team, I would downgrade Darnold more, expecting a very positive game script. But it's McCaffrey, and they're going to pass him the ball, and Darnold gets those points.
Yep. And I mean, I think Darnold's still not that bad, right? You got DJ Moore, who we think is going to have a good game. I think Robbie Anderson's going to have a better game than you do, apparently. They still got, Zylstra, right? He got a touchdown last week. Maybe they can throw him another one, right? There's some options there. So yeah, I'd probably go Darnold in a closed vacuum environment. I'd probably pick Darnold here.
Yeah, I have Darnold at 14 and Fields at 18.
Yep.
So I would.
Sounds about right.
I like Darnold tonight.
I do too. Yeah.
All right, we have another one in the chat. It's about tonight, so we'll get to this. Need one flex for PPR standard. So PPR standard, I assume that just means PPR. Now PPR is standard.
Yeah, maybe that's what he's saying. He's calling it the standard. Yeah.
Standard is non-PPR. Cooks, Sutton, or Shepard. I feel like we've talked about all of these players before.
Yeah, but
I mean, I've said my rankings for all of them, and I had Sutton the highest, so that's what I would go with.
I'm tempted to go Shepard there. Like, we keep hitting on that too. Like, he says it's standard, it's not PPR. So, I mean, I'd probably go Shepard there, but I'd like Sutton a lot too. And I mean, not PPR. Maybe I lean Sutton, but I don't know. That's a tough one.
I don't know how much, honestly, with these guys, I'm not sure how much going to not PPR changes it.
Me neither. Yeah, it doesn't really move the needle much, because none of them are I mean, Cooks is apparently a target monster, but I still think Sutton's probably the best pick. But I could see myself picking Shepard too. Again, if Golladay sits, that makes it an easier pick. But I mean, I don't think I'm playing Cooks tonight. Let's put it that way. I think I'm waiting to see how it goes.
I think I would go Sutton no matter what, even if Golladay doesn't play. I've Sutton at 24. I don't think Shepard's getting that high.
That's fair. But either way, it's not Cooks.
No, not Cooks. Yeah, Sutton.
Get him out of your lineup.
Sutton had 9 for 159 last week, and now he's playing the Jets.
That's true. Yep.
So I'm all in on Sutton this week. Yeah, they're giving me scary off. Imagine if Jerry Jeudy were healthy. What if Jerry Jeudy were healthy?
That offense would be insane.
He was the one.
Yeah.
If you could have Judy as the one, healthy Judy as the one, and this Sutton as the two, and then Fant as the third option, if that's what you could have had, this offense, with Bridgewater looking how he looked, this would be, with Gordon and Javonte in the backfield, this would be one of the best offenses. I mean, wouldn't it? I mean, that's crazy that we're saying that. It's,
No, you're exactly right.
Crazy. Thanks, new sub. Oh, thank you for subscribing. Yeah, if you like the video, if you're watching the video, hit the subscribe button.
That's right.
That's what helps me the most.
Like and subscribe. That's right.
Yeah. Liking the video helps, but hitting the subscribe button is the most important, because that way you'll see all of my videos coming
down
up.
Here, I think.
It's down there somewhere. All right. We have a couple more questions about tonight, so I really want to get to those. Okay. From @VikingJohn2, for the flex, Chase, Cooks, or Rondale Moore. We've talked about these players to death, and it's Chase.
It's Chase for me too. Yep.
Chase of these options, whether Higgins plays or not. Still Chase. So get Cooks out of the lineup today. Okay, that's not tonight. Oh, this is tonight. Okay. Risk Darrell Henderson against Tampa Bay, or put in David Johnson or Phillip Lindsay tonight. Don't laugh. It's a deep 16 team dynasty league.
I almost laughed. Okay.
I can't.
It's got to be Henderson.
I'll just risk it, because I feel like you can pick up a waiver wire wide receiver.
If it's a 16-team dynasty league, I mean, that's pretty risky. You're getting, I'm guessing, to a running back slot, because I don't think he mentions anything about flex or receivers. But I probably just lean Henderson and just pray, because the reason I don't like anybody tonight on the running back side is you don't know which one it's going to be. It could be all of them. It could be none of them. There's no trust on any of those guys. I'm out.
The game script is going to be so negative. I mean, I have
that too.
I have Ingram at 41, Johnson at 48, and Lindsay at 57.
And you have Henderson at 33 or something, I think you said, right? Up in the 30s.
I might consider Ingram, but that Ingram wasn't even Ingram's not an option.
Not even an option. Yep.
So it's these two. Yeah, I would you have to risk it, I would think, because if Henderson is active, you're better off with him.
Yep. I agree.
And if not, you probably have another player on your roster that you can put in and hope. I mean, any player can score.
Well, no matter who you put in for the running back group on Houston tonight, you're just going to pray they get a touchdown, and that's just not the way I like to watch.
Put in is not going to be that. You're going to put someone in the slot, so whoever you put in is not going to be that bad. That has not helped him much.
I like the question marks. At least he gets the receptions. That's exactly how I'm reading that.
Phillip Lindsay scored on a touchdown reception last week.
Yep.
So
that offense is scary to me. I'm not a fan.
Terrible. And who knows what Mills is going to do.
Exactly.
All right, last one. Well, we've answered this already. Flex.
This is an easy one.
Yeah, it's Miles Sanders. I don't think we answered it from Jim, who is one of my biggest supporters, and I really appreciate you, Jim. But I actually think someone else asked the question with Cooks and Sanders in it, so we've answered this one. It's Miles Sanders.
Yep.
Pretty easily.
Easy peasy.
Okay. So we got to all the in advance questions that covered tonight, and we got to all the questions in the chat. So
victory.
Tell the people one last time where they can find you.
Yeah, so I do a lot of work all over the place. You can find me on Twitter at AndrewHallFF. I'm with Rocky Petrella on the Dynasty Junkies podcast, and Scott Sidlow when he shows up from time to time. I also write for Fantasy Pros and PFN, Pro Football Network, so you can find my work on those two sites. I'm in a bunch of leagues and tweeting here and there when I get a chance, and just trying to keep up with all the news. So yeah, just find me on Twitter and interact. It's always a good time.
All right. I appreciate everyone for listening, and good luck in your fantasy matchups this week. I will be back Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, like I am every week, to do my Sunday morning craziness start 6 show. So I will see you all then.